Good morning, people. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So today's video is going to be another one of those videos which I'm not actually going to do any hunting, so I do apologize. Today I'm going to go show you how to aim with a blowgun, how to what blowguns are best. We're going to talk about diameter, size of pipes. We're going to do all of that, and hopefully I am able to teach you some stuff. I know there are a few very good blowgun hunters out there watching my channel, so if I miss something, please feel free to drop it in the comments down below. All right, so this is the Colt Steel's .625 blowgun. It is a very nice blowgun. I don't use it as much as I use this one. This is my new maker model. Excuse the cracks. This was the demo mouthpiece before we wanted to cast them in rubber, so it's hard plastic, and I did ride over it with a tractor. But this is the pipe that I usually use, and there's a reason for that. It is very cheap, and I can replace any part on this pipe for almost nothing, and it is still straight. Now we're going to dive into actually analyzing some shots. All right, so for this first shot, I'm going to show you a shot I took on a rabbit. Now I'm going to pause this frame right here just so we can analyze this shot correctly. I'm going to indicate this rabbit in red, and of course I'm going to change over to your ghost pipes. Now this is what you physically see. Your right eye throws the left pipe, left eye throws the right pipe. Now to aim is very simple. All you got to do is draw a straight line between those two pipes. If your line is at a slant, it means that your head is not level. So shift your head from side to side until those pipes level up. Now, obviously, once you've got that nice and level, all you have to do is draw a line directly away between the two pipes, and that is one way of doing it. Now, this is not the easiest way of doing it. A couple of my friends use it. I know there are quite a few different blowgun hunters that actually use this method. I cannot judge distance this way. This is physically impossible for me to judge distance this way. So what I prefer to do is I do what I refer to as the triangle, straight line, and reverse triangle. Firstly, you start with that same line, and then you draw a triangle directly towards your target. And of course, this hunt ended in success, nailed this rabbit perfectly. We got exactly what we were going for. Okay, here's another shot that I took on a pigeon. Now, this pigeon was shot, I think it was 2 months ago or whatever. But as always, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go highlight this pigeon in red. That's going to indicate exactly what my target is and exactly where I'm supposed to be aiming. Now, for this exercise, I'm also going to just show you, we already know ghost pipe, you see double, the line in between, and of course the triangle, which everybody uses. But now let's move this pigeon down to about 7 meters. Now your sight picture completely changes. All you got to do for this sight picture depends on your length of your pipe and depends on who you are. But for me, I've just got to put those two pipes and the pigeon in the middle of those two pipes. Draw your line across and you'll hammer that pigeon almost every single time. Now, of course, we're going to go ahead and change over to a little bit of a further shot. Now, this is a bit of a harder one because now you've got what we call your reverse triangle. And your reverse triangle will get very long and skinny as the bird gets further away, because your darts will start dropping off faster and faster because they start losing speed. So do exactly what you did before at the start of your reverse triangle. You draw your line between your two pipes and then you drop your triangle down towards the bird. This is anywhere from 8 meters further out. I have to take this particular approach towards trying to shoot those birds. Obviously, you don't have to listen to me, but this is the only way that I have found to be consistent, and I have found to be able to shoot birds almost every single time. Now, I had a lot of questions about this. Where do I start my reverse triangle? Where do I start my straight on pipes? Where do I start my normal triangle? That has all got to do with you, your blowgun, and the strength of your blow. I do not know those factors. I cannot do that homework for you. You're going to have to do it for yourself. As always, this bird was absolutely hammered. It flew a few meters and then died. Now, to show you what I've just shown you in theory, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little spot on the cardboard. Simple enough. I'm going to use the same dart for each shot so that that is not a contributing factor. And that wall is probably about 10 meters. So we will be able to see where the dart hits on this board as you go further out. I'm going to keep it level each time. So it should be, first one should be a little bit high and then downwards from there. Now this dart, obviously you have to do yourself. So let's mark out 5 meters. 4, 5.5 meters. Okay. Now this, to me, would be an easy shot, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pipes on either side of it, and I'm going to just shoot. I'm not shooting for the target itself. I'm just going to go ahead and shoot for the, I'm going to put that dot in the middle, as it were. Okay, perfectly in line, as you can see, perfectly in line, just a little bit high. All right, now let's get this dart out. Let's do the same shot again, but at 10 meters. 7, 8. Actually, you know what? This is about 7 meters. So this is where it should start hitting true. For me, at least. Okay, that was a little bit of a skew blow. That dart didn't fly straight, but you can see it's on a level with I think maybe this head got a bit damaged. Yeah, the head's not straight. Okay, but anyway, you can see it's on a level with the dart. So that is 7 meters for me. And now if I push it out to 10 meters, that exact same shot, which is through a whole lot of sticks and stuff, but this is 10 meters. No, it was terrible. That dart is skew. The dart's been hurt. So there you can see I finally got the dart straight. So now it is in line. Just the head was a bit skew after hitting that first shot. So that is how you can judge distance. So just to show you accuracy, here is a golf ball. I'm going to go 7 meters back. As you can see, I just grazed the top with my first shot. Let's try see if we can't actually physically smack the golf ball. This dart's skew again, but try number 1, try number 2 at 7 meters. And there you have it. And that is why I like to use this method of shooting, because it is incredibly accurate. I mean, that's 7 meters, I'm hitting a golf ball. That is the size of most birds, and if you want to go for a headshot, I mean a heart shot on a bigger animal, that would be probably the size of, I don't know, medium-sized antelope, like a diker's heart, or it's quite a big target, but it's also quite a small target. So the intermediate size. I get asked this a lot, is how do you blow? This is my way. This is not the way that Tim Wells will teach you. This is not the way the bearded woodsman will teach you. This is my own way of blowing. What I do is I take that air into my lungs and I'll hold it. So I'll inhale and then I'll hold it, then I'll compress the air in my lungs. Get as like you constrict your lungs as hard as you can in the preparation for the blow. This is going to compress that air as tight as possible, and it's also going to give you maximum power. And then you release it. And when you release it, what I like to do is I actually like to build it up in my mouth as well. So it will be a and that is maximum power. You're letting out all air that is in your lungs in a matter of a fraction of a second. And that has got me many animals. I've shot many animals just through that method. And a lot of people will criticize me on it, and a lot of people will say no, it's absolutely. But that is the method I use. You can use your own method if you want. your lung capacity is directly linked to how much air you can blow out. For example, a 5-year-old kid who's blowing that pipe is going to have to exert a lot more of his lung capacity to try and get that dart out, which means that he is not going to have the strength that my blow has. Even though he might have it at the beginning stage, it's going to drop off as time goes on. So that is a very important thing to remember. When we were doing the testing, and I mean, it was rudimentary to say the best. We didn't have a chronograph, we didn't have anything like that. But what we were doing is we were checking the penetration of a particular dart, and we took everything from the white conduiting that people put cables in, all the way through to one of those thin little steel pipes. So we had all of the different sizes. And one thing I worked out with the different sizes is your capacity to blow is limited by the pipe. I'm a firm believer that you can hunt with any thickness pipe as long as the dart goes down it. You can change your dart size, it's not going to affect it very much. So your lungs can only actually blow a certain strength. So for example, if I take, let's say 50 psi, and I open my esophagus up, my esophagus is much bigger than that pipe. So the limiting factor of where the air is going to go is this pipe. That is what is going to be the limiting factor. Of course, as the cones get bigger, they create more drag at further distance, but we're not going to get into that whole debate. Just to prove to you that it's not going to make very much difference the diameter of the pipe, I am going to go ahead and do a little bit of a show and tell for you, just with my lung capacity and the blowpipe capacity. I'm going to give myself the maximum amount because I'm going to blow this thing. May even pop this thing if I blow too hard. It's more than whatever that was. And you go get another one of these bags and we can fill it and we can have a look. This is the same size bag as the bag I popped. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with water up to the same point, and then I'm going to pour it into this jug. Okay, let's just break a hole in the bottom because I'm not going to be able to pour it. Okay, that's 2 liters. It's almost 4 liters of air, uncompressed air in my lungs when I blow, and that's just my normal blow. The stopper on my pipe, what I'm actually just going to do, I'm just going to do that. That's a little bit of ground in there. That will come out easily. Everybody happy that my blowpipe is full? I'm definitely happy my blowpipe is full. So this is completely empty. I can put that like that. Grab this thing. Okay, a little bit spilt out. But take a look at that. It is not even, what is that, 500, 400, 300, not even 300 mils. So something I didn't add on the video the day I did it, I'm going to add it now, is how to extract venom from a snake and also how to use that venom on your dart. This is not something a novice should do. This is not something somebody who doesn't keep snakes should do. Please bear that in mind when you're doing this. I do not suggest you do this at home. Do not try this at home. But I'm just going to show you the process. Because a lot of people have asked me about the process. I did do a little bit of a video on the last one, but I didn't quite show you all the ins and outs. First of all, you've got your bucket, you've got a bag, and you've got an elastic band. Now what you need to do is you need to put the bag over the bucket, and then you push down, get the bucket full of air, and then what you do is you need to put your elastic band around the edge of the bucket, catching the edges of the bag. So what we have now is we have a nice layer for them to bite through, and below that we have got what will catch the venom. Let's get the first candidate out. Be very aware when you're working with big reptiles. The bigger the reptile, the more venom load you're going to get, but the less potent the venom's going to be. Come on. This is a really nice big puff header. No, come on, outside. Outside. we need to do is we need to get it by the head. Once we've got it by the head, now we've got it in we've got control of it. Just go outside so you can see this properly. And all we're going to do is we're going to let this thing bite. It wasn't very much venom. See the little bit in there? And there's our little very big wrinkles. So then this one will bite, and you can see the venom type is a little bit different. It's a clear venom. This is a much more potent venom than the other one. Check at that. So those two venoms are very, very different, and when you mix them, that's going to be a very potent mixture. So technically you shouldn't do what I've just done and milk two species of snake into the same bucket, but I want to try and get this mixture, so it'll be the first time I've ever tried this mixture on anything, if I do end up using it. But here's the venom. We're going to let it dry, and then I'll show you how to powder it. According to some scientists, venom does lose its potency over time. So I usually keep batches for about 3 months. I don't usually keep it for any longer than that. But yeah, 3 months is about as far as I go with venom. So it's actually been 2 days. I've been very busy. I haven't been able to do any videos. As you can see there, the venom has dried completely. It's almost formed like almost like a crust status. Now be very aware, if you've got any open cuts like that one over there and whatever, you can't get that exposed to the venom or the venom powder. Because I'm going to take this venom that's in there and put it into one of these bottles. Now bear this in mind, you will need bottles. Plastic bottles work, but I prefer this glass. Make sure to use a bottle that if you drop, it doesn't shatter. What I like to do is I like to just take it, go ahead and dump it onto a white piece of tissue or something just to hold it. Alright, there's all the venom. It's quite easily seen now that it's on a white sheet of paper and not in the bottle. Now just give it a little bit of a crush. Now all you got to do, get it like that, give it a nice little sharp V. You should be A for away. Now that is unpowdered. If I was going to go ahead and use this, I would have to add a slight little bit of water and make like a paste, and then you would stick your dart into there. But now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and powder it. Okay, there you have it powdered. Not as finely as I powdered that one, but you have it powdered. Now there are two ways to apply this. There are two ways to apply this venom to your dart. The first is to dip your dart into some water or some saliva, and then you go ahead and you dip it into this. And what that will do is it will coat your dart with venom. And as you can see there, I would hate to be shot with that. It is completely covered in venom. It would cause you a bad day. Of course, when you want to get rid of the venom or neutralize it, just give it a wash off in some water, and you have your venom, your dart will be clear of venom. The second way to do it, and this is a way I don't like to use it, quite a few of my friends use it, is they'll dip their finger in and they'll put a drop into their container. This one's going to have to take 2 drops. Boom. You can see the water there, and then they take their dart and they just pick that up with that dart, with that venom. They mix it in, and this creates a very sticky solution, and it does stick to your dart quite nicely. If you're going to leave darts for a long time with venom on them, this is the way I would do it, because it like literally encrusts your dart and it sticks to your dart very well. I wouldn't prefer this method though. So this is the venom we've just mixed. and that is an older batch. This is cobra venom, and this is just regular puff adder, and well, it's also got cobra in it, but only about 50%. So make sure you keep them labeled, because I need to know when I'm hunting that this one is going to kill slower than this one. And this is actually the bottle I usually use. Please guys, remember, if you prick yourself with this dart with the venom on it, it will be the same as getting bitten by a snake, which means that you will need to be hospitalized. Even with a slight little bit of venom like that on this dart, if I actually had to physically prick myself, I would be in trouble. Guys, a little bit of a show and tell of what I'm busy doing with the mouthpieces. So when I first started trying to make a mouthpiece, I first carved it out of wax, and that was very nice. I could get the exact shape I wanted. I could get the exact dimensions I wanted, because if I didn't like it, I could just melt it down and recarve it. And I made a lead mold. I made a plaster of Paris mold from that, and then I made a lead casting of that. Now this was it worked. It was exactly what I wanted in the way of a blowgun. It was everything. It really felt nice in the hand, and that is actually what I based most of my design off, was actually this. But when I made the plaster of Paris mold, I thought I can do rubber composite in the plaster of Paris mold. That didn't quite work out. It really didn't, and it was a bit of a letdown for me. So what happened was, just at that time, my brother actually bought a 3D printer. I've been doing everything in 3D model and then printing it and having a look how it looks. So right now I have printed 2 molds. The one is for the one side and the one is for the other side, and they fit together quite nicely, fit together quite snugly. And I thought everything was right, and I thought I can go ahead and start printing these things. Unfortunately, I need a vacuum pump. This is to get rid of all those little air bubbles that get stuck in the Hunting for Hearts name, all of that. So I need to get an air pump. Right now, it costs just on 8,000 Rand for a decent air pump, and I don't have that money right now. So it's had to take a back door for a little while. I do apologize. I thought I would have it by Christmas. It's already 2 months later, and I'm still struggling to get the money to, unless you guys want to go fund me or something, it's going to have to take a back door for a short period. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned some interesting stuff, and yeah, I hope to see you next week.